Hello, it's Thursday, and I'm gonna flip my... Hi, Keisha. I'm gonna go ahead and flip my camera while we wait for people to join, and hopefully I can still see people joining. Hi, Shalyn. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this up here so you can see what tonight's scope is about. You may have seen that on social media, but I thought I'd go ahead and put a picture up while we chat until we wait to see who's going to join us tonight. I hate to get started because then I feel like I have to repeat myself all the time. So, hi, Miss Rhinefifth, how are you? Today we're going to talk about engagement. We're going to talk about how do we not only find those books for those kids like we've been talking about, but how do we keep them reading? How do we keep them engaged? And I know that's pretty much a buzzword right now, engagement, but it is an old thing brought up again, and it is very, very important. So I love this saying, you can lead a horse to water, because hi Cami, we feel like we do that a lot. We show our kids how to do things. We hold their hand. We get them where they need to go, and we feel so confident and so secure about it. And then we find out that, okay, we got them there, but now what? We find that they're not actually following through with what we thought they were so excited about, just as excited as we were. So we can lead those kids just like a horse to water, but we've got to make sure that we're actually helping them drink that water. We're helping them figure out, how do I take that first drink? How do I keep going if I start drinking and I don't like it? So what do I do now? Mrs. Marvin, what do I do now? So I get that a lot where I have kids and I interview them, I find out their likes, I find out their dislikes, I find them good books that actually match their appropriate reading levels, and then we give the book to them and they head out the door with every intention of going to read that book, and next thing I know, I'm asking them, so how did that book go? Was it good? Did you like it? And like, oh yeah, I turned that in. What? Why did you turn that in? Well, yeah, I didn't really like it, or the librarian said it was due, or I get a lot of that. I don't know how many of you get that response from your kids, but it's not just getting to know your kids as readers. It's not just finding them those great books by using all the social media aspects we can, the QR codes, the YouTube videos, on book trailers, the doing book talks yourself, talking about books with your kids, telling them what you like, pulling books off the shelf you know that you'd like, getting books ready for them and putting their name on them and as a present, this is yours. But all those things are great, but it doesn't actually get them reading. So how are we going to do that? What are we going to do? Well, over the years, I've come up with some things, because honestly, this is what I do. I teach struggling readers, and they don't want to read because it's not easy for them. And when something's not easy, we don't really care to do it. So, I'm glad you agree, Miss Ryan, because I get kids all the time who they want to read, but it's hard. And, you get home from school or you get free time. That's not what you want to do. So practice does make perfect, even with reading. And that's the one thing that I encourage my kids to do, is practice, practice, practice. Sometimes we have to kind of not trick them, but lead them in a direction where they're practicing and they don't even know it. So we do that a lot in our building. So one thing I wanted to show you today was, not only do we get to know our readers with interviews, that was episode 1, not only do we know how to find them great books and get them engaged, or not engaged, involved in finding those books with us, then we send them home, and now how are we going to get them to read it? How are we going to get them to keep reading it? Well, I've got a few things that I wanted to share with you tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the screen and show you the first one. I'm calling them book chats, because to call it an interview or a what do they call them, conference, reading conference with your kids or things like that is fine, but it's so like adult-like and it's so formal that I like to say, hey, let's chat. So we sit down and we talk about the book that they're reading. So let me show you what this looks like. Okay, a book chat. Now, a book chat is basically where you and the student get your own little special time to come together and talk about what they're reading. So it doesn't have to be completely and utterly formal, but you will get this page, so you don't really have to screenshot it or anything. You'll get that page if you go to link2teach.com, and every time I forget to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Jenny, and I'm from Link2Teach. I'm a reading specialist of 26 years. So, sorry about that. But the book chat guide is there for free on link2teach.com. You can download it and do with it what you want, but it kind of tells you the steps I use in order to keep it informal and keep it fun and keep it light and let those kids know that you really are caring and you're talking about the books with them because you do care. And you're going to follow up and you're going to be there for them and you're going to help them through it. Hi, Chris. Hi, Willis. So, hi, Crystal. So what I thought I would do then is take you to the next step, okay? Sometimes it's like, okay, I get the child set aside. We're talking about engaging readers. Once you find them that great book that they're going to be able to read, how do you get them to actually continue to read it? Hi, Jenny and Gail. So I thought what I would do was show you some sample questions that I've come up with, and you can go from there. Sometimes it just takes something to get you both talking and involved, and then the conversation just takes care of itself. And hi Jen. So I find myself doing that. I find myself sitting down to like a predetermined question, and I've even got them separated, like, okay, I'm going to meet with you this time and we're going to talk, but you're just beginning the book. So here's some questions to help us start. Okay, I'm going to meet with you, and now you've been reading a while, so now here's some questions for the reader during the middle of the book, and then also at the end, and what are you going to do afterwards? So these are the things that I do with my kids, and it takes time, but really you can do a good book chat in 1 or 2 minutes. And sometimes I do it in the hall, sometimes I do it when we're walking down to class because I go pick up most of my kids. Sometimes I just pull them aside when the other kids are working and talk to them. So it doesn't have to be a big deal, but just check it off your list with each child at least once a week. Check in with them and see how they're doing. Okay, so I have them on my site, linktoteach.com. I'll show you what it looks like. You can download that for fiction, and then I also have them for nonfiction, just to get you started talking, but I know you're going to come up with lots of things to talk to them about. All right, the next thing, this is what I kind of use to advertise, is that social media is huge right now. Kids love it. They just really can't live without it, and we can't too, otherwise we wouldn't be here. So what I've done is I've come up with a way for kids to share with social media. Some parents don't want their kids on social media, so I've got a way for you to do it in your classroom where the kids don't have to have an account. And I've also got a way where nobody needs an account. We're just used a really cool looking board to act like we have an Instagram display or phone or whatever in our classroom, and the kids get to show. So let me flip the screen and I will show you what that looks like. I went ahead and made one. I'll tell you what I made it out of in just a second here. Okay, so what I did was I found an old bulletin board in the save, or the I guess take pile, throw away pile at our school, and I took it home and I actually painted it, and this is what it looks like. Okay, let me get you up there closer. It actually I just made it look like an Instagram. So I have this and all these printable things on my site. If you want to make one, you can use poster board, you can use a whiteboard, you can just put it on a bulletin board that's white. You can do whatever, but I've got those all pre-made, so I saved you some time. You can go ahead and do that. Now, the other thing that I have is actually I have these sheets the kids use where they do their planning. So let me show you what that looks like. This is a large planning sheet I made, but I decided since my board was so small, I went ahead and made a side-by-side. So they're smaller than that. And the kids do the drawing here. They come up with a cute username. They write about their post just like we do, and they hashtag it. And we talk about all those things, and they loved it. I mean, I've got my board full so far, and then when the kids come in, I say, hey, go take a look at the Instagram board and see what kind of books you're seeing. So they do that. Now, I've got a couple pictures, so I'm sorry about flipping you around, but I wanted to show you some things, how this all works. I have another picture here to show you where the kids are actually drawing. So this is a child actually drawing right on the board, and some of the kids, especially the younger kids, still like to do that. But then I have my older kids where they're like, really, that's boring? So I have them using PicCollage. I have them taking screenshots and doing it like that. So that's another option that I have, okay? So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was engagement. This is probably the most powerful thing is to get your readers engaged. And so this is why I went ahead and made this poster, and I'll put this up on my site too. But engaging your readers is the most important thing you can do to keep them reading. So I went ahead and put that up there too. So when you go to the site today or whenever, you will get all the Instagram things you need. You'll get a note to send home to parents. You'll also get some extra freebies that I put in there. And then the other thing I thought that I would do is kind of prelude and talk about what's next. So since I found out my older kids were like dying for technology, I went ahead and I decided to show you maybe next time. I've got my kids all working on doing green screen book trailers now. So I've got 5th graders and 4th graders. Now my 3rd graders are going to do it next week and my 2nd graders are going to do it next week. So it'll be kind of fun to see how they do, and then I can show you that progress too. So next week when you tune in, it'll be called using green screen to motivate your readers. So we've had interviewing your children, find out what kind of reader they are, help them find out what kind of reader they are, find good books that are going to fit their needs, how to keep them reading. There's tons of ideas. I know I told you a whole lot more on my blog than I'm telling you now. It's easier to just find that, have it all organized, print out what you want. There's links to everything there. There's links to this Periscope there. And then I'm going to take you next week into the journey of green screen. I have found that is the biggest motivator that I have, and hopefully for $20 you can buy a green screen. You probably already have some type of tablet or device. I can teach you how to do it. Hi Amber, how to do all the green screen stuff that you need to do with your kids. From taking pictures to showing how-tos to, it's amazing what you can do with it. I'm finding every day new things that I can do with my green screen besides just book trailers. So hopefully you will join me next Thursday. I usually spend my whole week preparing all of this. So I think most of what you're going to find about my scopes is that you can find everything you need at my blog, and this is just my way of showing you a little bit of it, and then you go to the blog and you actually find everything spelled out for you, and it's all nice and neat and pretty. And I kind of get distracted sometimes with all the flipping back and forth with the screen, so I think that just going to that blog and being inspired to go to that blog is my main purpose of doing these scopes. So join me there, comment there, that'd be wonderful. And if you catch the replay, I'd love to hear from you. You can find me at Link to Teach anywhere, any social media. And I know that there are a couple things you might want to check out tonight. One of them is Cami, my friend Cami from Teaching with Aptitude, and she's doing a follow-up to her scope on Saturday. And then I know tonight too, being the reading teacher that I am, hi Kelly, that they're also doing a literacy blab tonight. It's about writing, which is awesome. Oh, Seesaw, that's the app. And so, and that's the one I still have to look into, but I was noticing when you were watching the marketing school, what is it, iPhone marketing school, she was talking about, hi Kelly, she was talking about how you can, you were saying you could save your pictures on Seesaw rather than having to save them on your camera, because I seriously had to delete a bunch of stuff tonight so that I could actually take pictures with my camera on my phone. So I'm losing space. So that was a cool, if you haven't caught that scope, I think it's still out there. It's iPhone's, what is it? I'm so sorry. Smart Marketing School, iPhone Smart Marketing School. But anyway, that's really awesome too. So you want to check that out. So everybody head on over about 6:30, see Cami's Teaching with Aptitude. Yeah, it's Tabitha. And then tonight at 7, we've got the literacy blab about writing, so that should be exciting. So I hope to see you guys there, and I hope to catch you checking out my blog and commenting on there, because I really need to know what kind of things are working for you. Smartphone Marketing School, it's a good thing you can get that out, because I couldn't get that out tonight. I don't know, I think I'm tired. It's Thursday. I'm wore out. Those kids wore me out today. Is anyone else? I feel like we should get a lot more snow, because they're really wound. My first graders were really, you know, they were painful today. I love them dearly, but yeah, it was tough. So, all right, Cami, you're up. Can't wait to see it. Got to take some notes. I got my pad of paper and my pencil ready, and I'll see it. So, see you guys.